What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Team Chat Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined to my right by Rachel Mogan.
What's up?
And to my left, Zachary Parks.
What's happening?
So Team Chat Podcast, in case you did not know, is a podcast based around video games where we, us three, will share top 3 lists, general discussion, debates, and reviews on the games we love. See, I tried to do by memory this time.
Oh.
How far did you get?
Not very far. That's why there were some pauses there.
10%?
Yeah.
I thought you were just doing your NPR impression.
No. It was an uncalled for NPR profession. I can't talk right now. I'm just going to keep reading this. Remember, if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at teamchatpodcast@gmail.com or find us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, where you can watch these cool video episodes. Also, if you would like to help support this podcast, please check out our Patreon page where you can do just that. In exchange for your support, we offer cool perks, like getting each episode early before its Tuesday release. If not, that's totally cool. We love making this podcast and love that each of you listen to it, and we'll keep giving you great content each and every week. If you would like to check that out, head over to patreon.com/teamchatpodcast.
Right on. After you got into it, it was fine.
I like the right on.
Right
You
on.
don't hear that very often. Hey, right on.
I still am saying
I think
words
there's a
like
reason you don't
groovy
hear
and
it. Yeah,
swell.
I know. Out of sight. Out of sight.
Happy Days is her favorite show.
I will respond to professional emails with the term right on.
Mogan. Risky.
Freewheeling.
Right on.
Right on.
Right on, man. Just add a man at the end.
I know. Images of the fawns.
Yeah.
Hey.
I like to make sure everybody knows we're keeping it cool.
Yeah.
Well,
At
the
my-
jackets at 100-degree temperatures.
Right. No matter what.
Makes perfect sense in Texas.
Absolutely. Well, we did have one bit of email correspondence that we should get to before we get to the topic of the show, and it is from Andrew Mogan.
And
Bro Mogan.
supposedly it's scandalous.
Well, just one point. One point.
Split hairs.
Basically, what he does is he's given us a rundown of Gex. Remember, we talked about it a couple episodes ago. He has heard the call to duty, and he has written a reply. And this is his reply. He says, "Dear TCP, is that acronym a thing yet?" It is.
It is.
Since day one.
According to the episode I just listened to, I'm supposed to write in about Gex because apparently no one has played it.
Literally no one.
First, slightly incorrect bit. I played a little bit.
A little bit.
Little
and
bit
they
of-
said, time's up, sir.
No. That's a different game. That was Song of the Deep.
All right.
Gex is
You know how
super
many games we
old.
talked about?
Yeah.
So many. First off, Gex was not for the N64, and that is the point that I have. I have contest with.
No.
Because I played it on the N64. And so I read this, and I was like, Bro Mogan, what is the deal?
Must have been a weird bootleg version. Probably wasn't legit.
So I was just like, I know, because I sat back and I was like, wait a minute. I know I played this on an N64, because my friend had an N64, because we played like Cruisin' USA, Diddy Kong Racing. Like,
Games, what's up?
Exactly.
I love Cruising USA.
Cruisin' USA is the bomb.com.
It is.
And so I was like, this feels incorrect to me. But granted, this was years ago, so I could have been wrong. So I had to give him the benefit of the doubt. He says it's originally for PlayStation. I did a quick Google search, and it reveals that, yes, it was available also on the N64. Now, it might have come out for the PlayStation originally, which I will give you that. But it was also on the N64.
Well.
It was for PlayStation. There are 3 Gex games. I just wanted to...
You got to get it right.
I just had a little bit of history, and I was like, I know this!
I remember playing it on the N64.
So I'm just busting your chops. Brogan. Bro
Mogan.
Bro Mogan.
He's going to like fire back.
Keep
with, like,
writing
an
in. We love it.
email.
We love hearing you. There are 3 Gex games to the best of my knowledge, with the first being a 2D side scroller and the others being 3D platformers. In each game, Gex is forcibly sent to the media dimension, a world filled with various TV-themed levels by Rez, the antagonist. To escape, you go through a bunch of weird TV levels trying to connect enough remotes which will do something, I guess. Not exactly sure how that works. Anyway, some of the level themes include anime, superhero, horror, etc. And the name of each level, damn it, computer fell asleep, is usually a pun about a famous movie or TV show. On top of that, Gex will randomly quote famous movies and shows like Rocky Balboa and the Flintstones. Have I mentioned this game has a lot of TV elements to it? The gameplay is pretty standard platforming, which is to say quite good. Being a gecko, you can do things like climb up on walls and tail whip enemies. I
remember tail whip.
It was so fun.
It
Because
was
it had
super
like
fun.
a whipping sound
Yeah.
to it. It was super fun. You can also use your long tongue to eat different kinds of bugs that will give you health or power-ups. Gex and Gex 3 were on PSN last time I checked, but not Gex 2. As a kid, Gex 2 was my favorite of the 3, but I haven't played it in a very long time, so I can't say how it's aged. I definitely recommend trying the first one, since older 2D games tend to age better than older 3D games. But be warned, Gex is hard. And yes, I remember that too, because I wanted to play Gex at my friend's house, but I could barely get through the first level.
It was really hard.
It's a hard-ass game. Should have been on a list of hard games.
I remember. I can.
It
Like,
looks
I have
familiar,
vague,
doesn't
it
it?
looks familiar.
Yeah.
I have
And he says,
vague
I've never
memories.
beaten the first one. So there's my quick rundown of Gex. Check it out if you get the chance. P.S. On the episode of Obscure Games, I'm surprised Rachel didn't mention. Oh, sorry. I don't know who Rachel is.
I don't know who that is
Mogan.
either.
Mogan didn't mention folklore.
Oh, balls. I should have talked
Missed
about
opportunity
that.
there?
Was our first game for PS3. You know what? It's a really interesting game. I will definitely find a way to talk about it on some other topic. Yeah, get it together, buddy.
Damn it. Having a hard time today. I'm sorry. I
struggling.
got really pissed off playing
Struggle
some
busting.
competitive Overwatch.
Yeah, we came at the perfect time to see Jerrett get defeated.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
Well,
I'm just having a hard time. I'm having a hard day, and I want everyone to give me space.
Bro Mogan will totally let me ride his and his friends' coattails in Overwatch through competitive mode because I'm like barely level 25 and they're all like level 74. And it's like, that's okay.
I did
guys-
just play against some people
Wait a
who
minute.
I did just play some people who had achieved highest rank
Yeah,
and are
they're
going again.
They're doing it again.
and
Yeah.
they're lower ranked than me in competitive. So that makes me feel a little bit better, but I'm still not happy that I'm consistently dropping.
Are you telling me that you know people that are ranked in competitive play in the 70s? Is that
Oh
what you
no,
said?
I just mean level.
Oh,
no,
okay.
Their normal
competitive
level.
rank I can't remember. It was confusing. I was upset. There was a lot happening.
I was gonna say my buddy that I play with is super into competitive play. He's trying to get really good at it, and he's like 65 or something like
Jesus.
that. Right, which is great, but he plays with like 70s and 80s that he said are crazy good.
My God.
I know.
Whatever.
He thinks I'm a noob, and I think I'm good at Overwatch.
Have you actually ranked yet?
No, but I'm not
I know,
But
I know.
like he's like anybody under prestiged, which is level 100. He's like, I'm not even gonna play with.
Damn.
Man, it's
Harsh.
hardcore. That's dude.
That is
This is
harsh.
the crowd that I roll with. You guys know that. That's the
Zachary
hardcore.
leaderboard
Yeah, this
parts.
is the kind of people I play
That
with.
is not how I roll. I'm
Yeah.
like, where are the chillest people you can find?
Do my spray paint.
Who are
over
I
here.
confusing.
just want to have fun. You know, I just want to have fun when I play.
Run up to
guys.
the other person's door and say, hey.
Yeah. That's May.
And you're like, hey.
2 days, like just you can see each other and then you just walk past each other. This world is not for violence. I don't know.
I just freeze everyone.
Freeze, don't move. She's so funny.
All right, but enough of this. Tomfoolery. We have a topic to get to.
And these boozers. All right.
I'm sorry that there
Why you
wasn't.
gotta call it
I have leftover
Mister,
beer.
I've drank water
from my
for 1
Jerry's-
week.
Like you open the fridge and it's just gold light hits you. The amount of beer in there.
To be
know.
fair, I think a lot of that's from 4th of July.
It is.
It is.
It's
It's
all
all
from
Oh,
4th of
people
July.
brought so much beer, there wasn't even room for all the beer in the fridge.
And now I'm still working for it, so I need to have like a secondary party where people
Yeah.
just come to help me drink all my
Not a
beer.
bad idea at all.
I would
great
invite
way
you,
to
but
have another
apparently
party.
Like, you don't have to BYOB.
Yeah.
We have enough.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Come help me
just
drink
everyone
this
come.
beer.
Everyone come over.
Dude, that's a great idea.
That is a really
Come
good
over
idea.
and help me drink my
Come
beer.
over and help me.
Because I
It's
really,
not a party.
It's too much. It's a chill event. It's a
you're
chill event.
coming
Just
This
sit
is a
back.
task. This is a goal.
Right.
We're going to drink all the beer.
Actually, a lot of work.
So suit up. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. So for today's episode, what we wanted to talk about, and I know we've brought up games in this genre before. Well, not necessarily a genre either. It's classification, I would say. And we've talked about several in past lists, episodes, whatever. And that is indie games. Specifically, we just want to talk about them specifically. I know, like when we were talking about difficult games or hard games, my whole list was
Yeah.
was independent games. And so now I'm not going to talk about any of those. I've picked fresh ones,
Okay.
cream of the crop. And now we're ready to talk about indie games, like how we feel about them. Some, ones that hit the top of our lists, perchance. Because I have a couple, like one I've mentioned a few times, or a favorite developer. I have a couple of favorite indie developers.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I'll go and start it off.
Yeah.
Severed.
Do it. Oh.
I got one word for you.
Go.
Severed by Drinkbox Studios.
You showed it to me on your Vita.
And I know I've talked about this one a little bit.
One of
Alright, I
the
gotta look
only
it up.
times I have ever held a Vita in my hands.
You're
I'm
like,
not
"Ugh."
sure I've ever touched one.
Well,
like,
be glad that
actually
you have touched
before.
that treasured
So-
device.
And I remember from very brief, maybe 5 minutes I played, I think Zach was late.
Yeah, I
That
probably
was
was.
why.
Yeah,
Zach
probably
was
I
really
think
late,
so.
and you were like, "Here, play Severed," and I was like, "Okay."
Because
You
I
get- There you go,
launched,
kid.
I pulled it up, and I knew immediately Mogan will love this.
Oh, I don't know this
It was
game.
beautiful.
It is
I
beautiful.
love the art style. I didn't get very far, but I loved that one of the first things you do is like tutorial is actually fighting against the main character's mother instead of her father. So just the mother being decked out in her armor and she's like, come at me. I was like, that's a really cool introductory thing just to kind of set the tone.
Yeah. No, and so basically, like I said, it was developed by Drinkbox Studios, who's done other games, which is another favorite game of mine, Guacamelee, which I know I've mentioned a couple times too.
I can't not laugh or smile hearing
It's
that.
an awesome game. And in
It's a
fact,
great title.
It's a great title. A great like side-scrolling action game. You're a luchador who is trying to rescue his. You're an agave farmer who is killed and transformed into a luchador in the afterlife.
You're for real not an avocado farmer. Really?
Yeah. Not really. No, it's agave farmer. And then you have to go rescue the president's daughter, the Mexican president's daughter, or something like that from the King of the Dead. And so
The oldest tales.
Good God, I'm having a hard time with this thing today.
What are your settings on, man? Come on.
I know I didn't
Get
change
together.
all my settings. Let me get to my settings. But anyway, so Severed is, as Mogan said, you are this young girl, Sasha, and you are trained by your mother in the very beginning. That's your tutorial to this game. And you're trained at the beginning of how to use your weapon, which you use the Vita's touchscreen to slash. Now, everyone's going to be like, okay, I've played Fruit Ninja before. I know how to slash. But this game adds a few more extra things to it.
I
such
recall
as
struggling through the tutorial.
your
I
enemies.
remember not doing
Yeah,
good.
you can parry. You can, which is very similar to like Infinity Blade games that we talked about before.
Yep.
Where you can like parry your enemies' attacks and things like that. But you'll be facing these enemies, and sometimes you will face 4 enemies at a time, and they're all around you in a circle. So you're just in the middle. And these enemies will have, and they'll each have different kind of attack, or they'll have a boost to them. Like they attack faster. They have a defense against your magic and everything. And so, or they will block your attacks. If you hit them in one place a lot, they'll like there's this one that kind of looks like a monkey creature, and he'll like block his hands like this.
Oh, yeah.
And guard himself from your attacks. So basically the point is you start the story, you have this memory, of like dream almost of training with your mother, and then you wake up, your house is in ruins. You look in a mirror and realize you're missing your arm.
Yeah.
And then you also then find out your family is, you would think you're pretty damn sure they're dead.
Yeah.
They're killed by some mystical creature. And as you're looking into the mirror, realizing like, oh shit, where's my arm? What the hell?
As the first thought.
As you would.
As one would.
Monster appears behind you and says, hey, your family's been taken, and you have to go rescue them. You have to go find them and rescue them from this death and everything that they're in. Now, I have not finished the game yet, so I don't know how this all resolves. I've so far found your brother and your father. But I have not yet found the mother, who I'm assuming, since your mother trained you and all that stuff, she
That's
would be
the
the
last
last
The
one that
most
you would
important
find.
family
Yeah.
member.
Yeah, it's very
So,
a lot of symbolism there.
but I will say that I like playing the Vita. I know the Vita is not a very popular. Yes,
I was just going to say, I didn't even know before this game that the Vita had a touchscreen.
it does.
I did not know that at all.
It even also has like a touchpad on the back too, so you can like in some games you can like swipe the back of the Vita and it's a melee or something like that,
that's
or like
crazy.
reloads and stuff
I think
like that.
I would be really bad at that.
It can get complicated trying to remember all of them, but it's really awesome because you can use it as like I can AirPlay games from the PS4 onto my Vita.
Okay.
Now, granted, sometimes the control scheme is different than what you're used to, so it takes a second to get to it. But it's pretty cool that that's even an option.
Right on.
In theory and on paper, the Vita sounds pretty amazing. Why is it not as well received?
I just don't think it has that as much.
They never
Support.
advertise it.
Yeah,
They
you never hear about it.
advertise the Vita. Like
No.
the DS has tons of advertisements.
Yeah,
I see
true.
commercials all the time. I never see. It's like Sony isn't backing it. It seems like they're really not giving it the level of high support that they give to some of their other platforms.
Yeah, I think it did really well in the West. Didn't receive as much of a big adoption rate here in the US and stuff. And because a ton of Japanese games come out for it. all the time. Like I'm hearing this one's going for the Vita or whatever, but not. And a few games have made, like there was an Uncharted game that was made for it, an Assassin's Creed game made for it, a Call of Duty game made for it. So they have some like games like that. There's a couple. And the nice thing is it can also play like PSP games if they're on the digital store too.
You know, I can't recall exactly which one it is, but I am fairly certain I saw Severed on a list of games being ported to either and or the Wii U or DS.
You know what?
It's coming out for one of them, and I think that's happening this summer.
I think it's Wii U.
Yeah, is it Wii U?
When I was looking it up, I
nice.
think I saw it for Wii U.
Because that means I can get it from the Nintendo eShop. Nice. Add it to my collection.
Yeah, PS Vita Slasher Severed is coming to iOS, 3DS, and Wii U.
Okay, all of them.
That's
nice,
from Engadget.
Nice.
There you go.
So yeah, so you should definitely pick it up. When it comes
that sounds really cool.
But so that one is one of mine because it utilizes the Vita perfectly. And for the big thing too, especially for Drinkbox, they took a huge gamble in that they were like, hey, we came out with Guacamelee. It was a huge game, and they had another game before that I cannot remember the title of. And they're like, hey, we have Guacamelee. It's a great game. People loved it, and it was available on all platforms. Now we're going to take a gamble here and develop a game specifically for the PS Vita. Only be released on the PS Vita at launch day, and it was met with very loud acclaim. Like people have loved it and stuff like that. And everything I've heard, like all the reviews of it have been great and everything. And so how it incorporates the Vita itself with the slashing and the touchscreen. It's not just you're just playing a game on it. It really makes you use the device. And so that, and as well as the gamble, which the gamble seems to have paid off, and now it got popular enough that it's being ported to other systems.
I mean, that's usually a good
that's
sign.
a pretty big win for Drinkbox. And so. Like I said, I haven't finished it yet. I'm sure I'm getting closer, but as you go on more throughout the game, after you defeat a few bosses, you get pieces of armor, which give you different abilities to like unlock more areas in the levels, or grant you some magic powers and stuff like that. So
cool. Definitely
would recommend Severed. Yes,
indeed.
Mogan, you go ahead.
Oh, or is that because you're...
We'll come to that when it's my turn.
So I have been dying to talk about this game for what feels like a million years, but I don't actually think it's been that long. So I'm kind of at a bit of a crossroads because I played it on my Mac. I bought it through the Steam store, played it on my Mac. Technically hated the controls on Mac. However, since its release back in 2014, Never Alone has now been released on virtually every platform.
I had that for the PS4 because it was a PS Plus game.
Never Alone is on PS4. It's on PS3. Xbox. It's available on Xbox. I even think they put it on the Wii U at this point. So Never Alone, and you're going to have to bear with me on this one because I have a lot of words that I can't pronounce. So the actual... oh boy, here we go. The translated title is Kissima Inichuna. That was probably really wrong.
But
that sounded right.
So you know a little bit about it. Zach, do you know anything about this game? All right, so Never Alone. So again, I hated the controls, but I think if the gameplay had been more streamlined, like on a different platform, it would have been fantastic. That's really not why I like this game. I like its goal and the idea of the game, much more than the actual gameplay itself. So Never Alone, as far as I know, is the very first game that was ever expressly developed in partnership with an Alaskan Native peoples.
Okay, yes, I remember that now. Well, I knew that from the art of the game and everything.
Yeah, it was literally
feel.
a partnership between, so the actual studios are Eline Media and Upper One Games. And they made this game expressly with the Inupiat. And I am pretty sure I am mostly correct about that.
Again, that sounds right.
I wrote it down like a little pronunciation guide.
When you say Alaskan?
Alaskan natives. So these are, I believe the Inupiat are part of the Inuit, like a branch of them or something like that.
And they're like, we're game developers.
Yeah, they came to them and they were like,
Alaskan
hey,
natives.
We're a game studio. We want to make a game about you.
Culturally
about your
relevant.
Culture, about your history, and your folklore. Awesome. And I was like, when I saw the trailers, I was like, what? You mean it's a game made about a people with those people? So that it's really correct and actually glorifies their history? That's amazing. So they actually do have at least 40 Inupiat elders, what's it called? Storytellers and just regular community members that are featured in the game. So to give you a better idea of how this works, the game itself is just a 2D No, it's not 2D. A 3D side scroller. So it's a puzzle platformer game. First of all, the art style is really beautiful.
Yeah,
It's
is
somewhat
gorgeous.
similar to
Very-
Limbo almost
actually-
in
no,
its
this-
coloration, not necessarily in
they-
its like darkness and death, but
But it
in
does
its-
look like it's like a 2D
Yeah, it
side scroll that
does.
has 3 dimensions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And,
So
yeah.
you are Nuna. So that's the girl. You are a young Alaska Native girl, Nuna, and she is accompanied by this little Arctic fox, which is like her spiritual guide. So Nuna is just a regular girl. She one day returns to her village after a hunt and finds it decimated. And she's like, oh crap, I'm all alone. I'm not going to make it. Polar bears, it's a real problem
That's-
in the game.
Oh, is that really what it
Yes,
is?
no, it's a real problem.
I thought Jerrett was just being like
That's
stereotyping.
legit.
It's the Arctic.
That's one of
It
the
is the
that's one of the
Arctic
very
Yetis.
first that's one of the very first like problem creatures you encounter is a starving polar bear is chasing you down. But so you are joined by this little Arctic fox that is your guide basically. So Nuna is just a regular girl, but the fox is like your connection to the spirit world. So the fox is kind of how you traverse the world because it's not just environmental. Eventually, you'll just run into spirits out and about in the world that are based on folklore from the actual native, from the Inupiat. So it's amazing. And then as you go through the game, as you play through the levels, kind of like achievements. If you do certain puzzles or just kind of get to a certain checkpoint, you'll see these little owls just kind of hanging out in the game. And when you touch them, they fly away. And in the corner, it'll say unlocked and then whatever the title is. And it'll say hit tab if you want to view now. When you hit tab, it pulls up a video that features the elders and the storytellers and the community members just in video. And they will tell
Like
you
a live action.
Yeah, like
Wow.
a live action
that's
thing.
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's just regular video. And they will be telling you whatever portion of their culture ties into that point in the game.
What?
So
That's
actually,
awesome.
when
I
you're
really
being,
need to play
so
this
this is
one.
a good example when you're being chased by the polar bear. Kind of right before
Hit a
that
video.
is actually a video that's like, "Hey, global climate change blows because polar bears are starving to death and they're going to eat Nuna because of that." So, and it's like, oh snap, I got to do something.
That's
but then
crazy.
there's also like videos that are just about, oh, in our culture, these little critters that you see running about in our, this type of spirit, or these are like imps or something like that. And it's like, this is awesome. So they're really short, but there's a lot of them. So this is kind of the hinge of what I love about Never Alone. It is one of the best examples of fun learning that I've ever run into in a game. Like, it's clearly meant to educate the populace about a culture that I previously knew nothing about.
I know
So
nothing.
even the actual storytelling of the game, the whole game is narrated in their native language by one of their elders. And it's like you're hearing it and there's subtitles and you're like, this is the best. This is so cool. And like you're just learning as you go, and the actual game is really visually stunning. The soundtrack, I remember, was really, really cool. So I think if the controls had been better, so FYI, don't play it on Mac. Please don't. It's not good. The controls are not good. But if you can get it on PS4 or Wii U or even Xbox, please do play it. I think it's such a good highlight of what indie games do incredibly well, which is shine a spotlight on something nobody else will take on.
Yeah.
How many of the big box games do you know that would do
That's a
game
good
like
point.
that?
And
It
I
is a good
almost
point.
feel like I want to divert to that.
Yeah, I was thinking indie games as a whole. I feel that that's the one thing they have leaps and bounds ahead of the industry.
Well, it's
as
the
a
same
whole.
thing as like independent movies.
Right. Well,
Like
there's
they will take the chances that a studio will not.
Exactly.
They will. And what indie games so I have played little indie games compared to
You're so
Jerrett and Mogan.
mainstream.
I'm like even in
AAA gamer.
You AAA gamer.
even in the indie world, I play the mainstream indie games like Minecraft and Limbo. The ones that actually get a lot of attention. I know I'm the worst, but
No, it's fine. To each his own.
But I will say, I wish I played more. I really do. And watching that documentary, Indie Games.
Oh, Indie Game, the movie?
The movie.
Oh, that's a great
opened my
documentary.
eyes to what these people put in. The amount of blood, sweat, and tears that go into these games blew my mind, and it gave me a whole new level of respect for it. But what you guys are talking about is actually very fascinating to me because I think like the philosophy behind the indie games is true. That they do shine a light, and they're just a perspective from either a very small group or one person sometimes that those big budget games do not have. Not in the same way.
Yeah.
Big budget games are trying to appeal to a lot, where these indie games are almost showing you. They're showing you something you have no idea what it is or where it came from.
And I think part of that might actually come from who develops them. Like with a big box game, there could be hundreds of people all working on that. So there are these different levels of hierarchy that we don't see, but there's one guy in art direction going, oh, this is our idea. And then there's another guy in mechanics going, hey, that's not going to work because XXX.
Right. And both have their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, so they have to go back and forth to develop these games. But with an indie game, it can literally sometimes be one person that goes.
Isn't that the guy who made
Undertale?
Undertale, yeah.
Yeah, that was one guy. And actually, more recently, it's not actually one that I can talk much about, but there's a new one called Stardew Valley.
That one's been blowing up.
Yeah, that game. That's one person. One person makes
ridiculous.
Stardew Valley, and it's like in that case, it is one person's vision come to life.
Right, and that's when you're getting
the whole package.
Yeah, you're getting closer and closer to what I think outside critics would constitute as a piece of art.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not that other forms of art, especially film, doesn't take a lot of people to make, and it's still considered something that's artistic. But now that you're getting down to one person's visualization coming into fruition, that's a big deal. And for it to be like decent, I guess. I guess people used to that, but maybe I don't know why now the technology is in a place where.
Well, I feel like before indie games used to be the thing, like you would go to those websites that were like Flash-based arcade websites, and those were the indie games you would play. That one dude sat and made a Flash game that's up on the thing. Not bashing that. I'm just saying that's what I feel like when I was growing up and everything. That's the kind of indie game that I would be introduced to. Would be something like that. Whereas now, no, I think it's the technology is cheaper. It's more freely available. Like all the time now, they put what is the Unity engine? Is that the one that like Unreal is made on?
Yes, I think it's Unity. I'm pretty sure you're right.
I think I am too. And so I just think that the technology is just way easier for these developers to get their hands on. And then, yes, I think now it's easier to learn how to code and do these things from your own house. And you don't have to necessarily go go to a college or university or something like that. You can just do Code Academy or
There's
whatever.
so much free information that you can just learn it on your own.
Yeah.
It's true. And these indie games, and I know we've talked about this briefly in another episode, but our camera went dead. We're coming back, video people.
I like that's Zach's job.
Well, it's, it could be your job.
I don't know what
do
to
you
do
want
up
it to
there.
be your job? Do you want to switch off?
No, I don't know what to do up there.
All right. You just hit a button that says start stop, and that's literally
I think I would find a way to F it up.
Turn off the whole camera.
Turn off the whole thing.
Yeah, just tips over.
Save over our file.
We were talking about, I know, one episode, probably art direction. And I think I mentioned Limbo in that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. I believe that was your
discussion. Yeah, that's when I talked about it. And I was like, I like seeing the indie games sort of, because their budget's always a lot smaller, they're forced to be a lot more creative. And you get to see these games that are not based on realism or realistic graphics, but more like impressionistic of the creators. You get to see these games that mimic paintings, or these games that have... I'm thinking of the Swan game where you actually use a paintbrush.
Unfinished Swan?
Yeah. The Swan game.
Wait, the finished goose?
Oh, yeah. The gaggle of geese game. But yeah, I like that these game developers are getting put in a box in some way, or they put themselves there, and they're able to get really creative with it because they don't have all the resources that these big developers have, and they're seeing it as like a blessing, which I think it is.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely able to fully, and it's again same thing with independent film. You're able to express your own vision and to see your own your creation to fruition when you don't have other influences of we need to appease this market, we need to appease that market.
When you're making a game for you do whatever you want.
Right. And it's ridiculous. It's crazy too sometimes how heartfelt these can be. Like the one that comes to mind, especially like I want to play it, but I also know that playing it because I want to see it and I want to experience it, but I also know it's probably going to be very sad. I want to play this one game called That Dragon Cancer.
Oh, I thought we were going to say the same game, and I wasn't even close.
I thought we were going to say Undertale, but we just talked about that.
We've talked about Undertale.
This dragon has cancer?
That Dragon Cancer. It was made by a couple. who their son was suffering from terminal childhood cancer.
God.
And so it's this game that they made about dealing with that.
Wow.
Oh, that's
I know.
heavy
Well, yeah.
stuff.
How do you translate that into a game?
Exactly. And so that's where my curiosity comes from it. But also knowing that that's the theme, like I'm like that's
Sure.
that's that. But it got a ton of attention.
Really?
I bet.
I've never
I
heard
bet.
of it before.
Well, because it was mostly like a crowdfunded thing. People then obviously started donating and things.
Yeah.
To the family.
Mogan. Sorry.
I saw-
Poor time to laugh, but sorry, Mogan had her Pokemon Go pulled up.
Yeah, I thought I had closed it.
No.
But
Well, that sounds super fascinating, and that's even more of like a here is the way I feel. It's like a poem.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's
Put into
very
a video
interesting, and I'll show you guys this, but and then I'll put it on the video too. But like, look at the art style.
Oh, interesting. Can you,
Look, it's very polygonal,
It is.
like very shaped, but also 3D and everything. Here, let me just play this.
Farmer Mill plays building blocks with the cows. Farmer Mill races the horse and Farmer Mill wins. My shoes were untied.
I'm sad already.
I know.
yeah.
I haven't watched this before.
What does Joel love? Wawa. In cups, bathtubs. And the warm, wet tongues and the cool fur of Das. And maybe the sweet mois of daily affection.
Do you know how they celebrate off-treatment day, like when kids are done with their treatments? I guess maybe you don't because you're not in the clinic as much as I am, but on someone's last day, they always bring them a cake and they sing Happy Off Therapy Day to you.
I'm sorry, guys. It's not good.
Basically, he thinks we should move forward with the radiation, and it kind of freaks me out, but it could be another miracle.
There's a story in the Bible where Jesus and his disciples are on a boat. And a furious storm hits the sea, and everyone thinks they're gonna die. And where do you think Jesus is? He's asleep in the back of the boat. Bouncing around. Do you like that? Oh, I love your giggle.
That looks like the saddest game
Yeah.
on
Well,
planet
It looks
Earth.
really touching and
I
sad.
was about to cry.
Yeah, that's heavy stuff, man. What a tone
Yeah.
that you've put in this room.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying, like we were talking
beautiful.
about it,
It's
and it's just
beautiful.
like
It's
it's
beautiful.
like that would never get
Yeah.
made.
No.
If it was a AAA and up to a AAA studio, they would
Yeah.
be like, "No, that's a downer." But like an independent game, a game was used as a healing tool for this couple
Yeah.
who were going through this obviously traumatic thing. And so like, and it's crazy. It's crazy that you know the technology's there. They're able to do that and create a incredibly touching game just from the trailer.
Well, that's the first time, and I'm probably wrong, but that's the first time that I know of that I've seen a game that is that reflective of a personal experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe there's been other ones, but I haven't seen
Or
one.
like you know, it could maybe have been a personal experience that they've allegorized.
Yeah.
You know, and like made it something else, or
But
like
that's
a different
very
interpretation. But that's
to the
just
point. Yeah, that's like
straight
right on
up.
the money.
Yeah.
You know?
And
Like,
even though they made it for themselves, I think there are so many people that are going through that
Yeah,
exact
yeah.
same situation.
so it's going to touch a lot of lives.
Yeah.
yeah. That's very interesting. Well, it's a very different perspective on like what games are.
Yeah.
You know, that alone, I feel like changes the conversation.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that.
So, I mean, like I said, it seems like obviously it's going to be a tough game to get through. But
Yeah.
I would love to play it one day.
Yeah.
To support their effort, and then
Is it available? I mean, it's available, right?
Yeah, it's out. It's out now. It's been out. I think it said on here January is when it came out.
Oh,
so.
okay, but this year.
Yeah, this year. So it's a fairly new game.
We should have ended on that so that I can go cry about it.
Yeah. Get in our cars and weep.
I'm not sure I can get my energy back up after that. It's going to be hard to play Pokemon Go now.
Yeah, right.
And we're back. All right, so I know you haven't played as many. So like, what is one, since we've shared each a game, and since we've kind of like taken it now into like a different direction slightly. Like, what is one that stands out?
One that stands out, and I've talked about before, is Limbo.
Yeah,
Limbo had a big impression on me. Is that on your list there, Mogan?
It sort of is, I think. Oh,
Yeah?
no, it's not. Just kidding.
No?
My bad.
Well, you guys have played Limbo.
Sorry.
I've played through some of it. I'm not very far in. I just started it recently.
What? I thought you guys played it.
I have played probably the beginning of it.
Just the beginning?
Yeah, but
And
I don't
you-
think I made
just
it
the
very
Probably
far.
about that,
Okay.
but I started it like 2 weeks ago.
Well, Limbo was and is a super popular indie game, and it was, I played indie games, like I said, like, I don't know, dude, I'm going to sound like such an idiot. So, like, I don't know, Geometry Wars, is that an indie game?
Oh, no.
For the Xbox 360?
Oh, no, I'm thinking of a different geometry game. I think I'm thinking of
nerds playing geometry games.
Rush.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
So Limbo coming out, I was only getting it because I was really into the artistic style. And obviously that is sort of what it's become really famous for. It was one of the first games that I've seen that I think made this sort of 2D scroller cool again.
Yep.
Probably wrong about that. I'm sure other games did that as well.
Oh,
but
I would think so.
But that was a big one
Yeah.
for mainstream audiences to see, like, oh, this is like black and white. It's creepy. It's got
Because there's no music. Unless there's music added in later, but of
There's-
what I've played,
I think it's sporadic, but might not be.
Yeah, it's
I
not
think it's mostly
constant.
natural sounds.
Yeah.
And
like the vicious, gory sounds of like
Yeah.
the boy being impaled on something.
yes, it's got like really disturbing imagery.
Yeah,
and
seriously.
the amount of atmosphere that they're able to draw out of that game just from a 2D side scroller is really impressive. And it's I'm not alone in thinking that, obviously. And it was also another indicator, or like a great example of sort of, I guess you could almost relate it to a game like Journey of there's no story, or at least there's no story that you know of for the first
because it just starts.
half of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just in it. You like
Yeah.
wake up and you just start going. And that ambiguity is really powerful. And I know I haven't played Journey, but I know that's something that people can like latch onto and their imaginations come into play, which these big budget games are like tell you more than really
It's
let
in
your
the
imagination.
tutorial.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like,
This
here's
is
what's
what you
happening.
do.
Pick up a book or a
Right.
piece of paper or tablet that's on a desk in front of you, and it's going to give you back.
Right.
Or they address you as, hey, you are X.
Right.
This is who you
This
are.
is
This
your
is your job.
Exactly.
Whereas in games like Journey and in Limbo, it's like, who am I?
Yes, it's and Journey's going to be able to attest to this more. It's more like music. It's more like something you experience. It's an atmosphere. It's just a visual song in a lot of ways. And if Journey is more, I don't know, would you consider Journey happy? Like a happy, like lighthearted sort of story?
No,
'Cause
lighthearted
Limbo's
is not the right
certainly
word for it.
dark.
Yes,
for the
very
most
much.
part. Limbo's-
Journey's not dark, but it has almost like a bittersweet feeling to it.
It seems just that Journey, from what I've seen, seems there's uplifting moments. Limbo
Yes.
is more of like you are dying a lot and there's a lot of
Yeah.
death around you, which is great. I mean, there's like dead bodies of kids and you're like using them to get over places. You have to like drag dead bodies around.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Yeah.
It's a weird. It's weird.
It's
how
really
how
weird.
dark and gruesome
It is. And the spider man that I'll always remember.
I hate spiders anyway.
The
so that
first
was
time
terrifying.
you interact with it, and that is not the last time. It comes back, and there's so many great moments you have to figure out. And the transition from, like I said, it was from forest to machine world to like a city.
Yeah.
And the ending, which is an ending that I can still like vividly remember, and I don't like have a clear answer, though I know internet community has come up with probably a pretty solid, like, well, this is what this means,
Yeah.
And I like to have my own interpretation, but it has one of those endings that make you rethink the whole game.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get to it.
It essentially has every good characteristic that a good indie game should have.
Yeah.
I think. The ambiguity is important. The artistic style is uber important if it's going to be an indie game, I think.
Yeah.
And atmosphere, feeling. That's what these games do. And Limbo did that, left such an impression on me that it totally changed my perspective of what indie games could be and like what they're becoming.
Yeah.
You know, I think, and I've said this before, I think, even though I'm not a big indie gamer, I know we're in like the golden age of, or not, I don't know.
No, I would say we are.
Well, we're certainly at the beginning of it. You know,
Yeah.
maybe it's going to get better,
Yeah.
but we're certainly like, this is a great time, I think, for indie developers, despite
think
that
it
documentary
is.
showing how hellish it is.
Well, and to,
How old
to
is that documentary?
It's
we don't know.
2012.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
pretty
it's
recent.
about
I'll
4.
see. Things have improved, probably, we hope.
Well, maybe they have, but I mean, well,
Just
that
sounds
that
like,
documentary is
you know,
what got me wanting to play Super Meat Boy
Yeah.
because the developers of that are in there.
Yeah, Pez or Fez?
Fez.
I've never played
I have that one too.
Looks great.
Haven't got to it around, and Braid is the other one in that one too.
That's such a good segue to one of the games that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
From the makers of Braid, The Witness.
Oh, have you played this yet?
Ooh, yeah. So I've just got it. I've played a little bit of it. It's one of those games that we desperately wanted to get for my mother.
Oh, okay.
Because our mom is huge into puzzle games. So we were like, she's always going on and on about how Myst was the greatest puzzle game ever. And of course, all of her children think of Myst as the bane of existence.
Yeah, you hate
We're like,
Myst.
that's a
Myst is
horrible
terrible.
game. Awful. Why would you do this to us? Why would you bring this awful feeling into our household? But from the makers of Braid, as of this year, it was just like February, right?
Yeah.
It was really recently.
It's fairly recent.
Was The Witness. And The Witness is made by the same people who made Braid. What's his name?
Jonathan Winters. Winter.
No, it's Jonathan.
Is that a music composer?
No, that's Austin Wintory.
Oh.
There's
Come
a
on, get
Winter.
it
Johnny
together.
Winter.
Blow. Jonathan Blow.
Oh God.
I knew it was
Who's
a-
Jonathan
Ooh,
Winter?
look at the
then?
cover art for this.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
So The Witness, in terms of artistry, is one of the most... it blows my mind.
Wow.
It's like a cross between a watercolor and hard geometry. And it's just like, it just blows me away.
Super gorgeous.
It's so stunning.
Whoa.
It's super saturated. So what you're seeing right now is the island.
Yeah.
So Jonathan Blow has literally stated that this game was inspired by Myst. So The Witness very much is like the child sort of
Spiritual
of Myst.
successor.
Yes, spiritual successor. That's the word I
It
was
looks
looking
more
for.
inviting than Myst.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Say that.
Way more colorful.
So it's much more colorful.
around.
It's
Less
much
fog.
more fun.
Yeah.
Less fog. But in the same style of Myst, you are just sort of you're there. You start the game and you are on this mysterious uninhabited island. You have no name, you have no face, you just are this faceless character, and you are traversing the island through, I think, 10 or 11 unique areas. So there are like unique areas of the game, and I think that the transitions between areas are actually really interesting because they're so abrupt. Like you go from beautiful meadows to snow like that. You walk right into it, but you can see it coming.
Yeah.
Like being able to see, it's not like a load screen. You just walk over to it and it's just like, oh, okay, I'm in this other area now. I guess that's all right. So you're traversing through these different areas. I think the goal is to actually get inside the mountain. But you're doing this by these puzzles. So it's entirely a puzzle game. And the actual style of puzzle, line puzzles are not my strength. So although the game has been praised for being difficult but accessible, Myst, difficult, not accessible at all.
Right.
Horrible. So The Witness is definitely difficult but still more accessible, but line puzzles aren't really my best thing, but you are basically interacting with these panels that are just kind of on walls throughout different areas. And the panels are like these little maze line puzzles. And they are meant to show you, I think, how to get through each region to the next one. But it's not like explained. It's a nonverbal game. Nobody's talking to you. There's not really a tutorial. You just kind of have to figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
And you're doing this largely through visual cues and observation in the world at large, which I love. I love it when they give the player the responsibility and the burden of figure it out for yourself, stupid.
Yeah.
You're the one
yeah.
who picked up the game, figure it out. And it makes that moment of figuring it out so much more rewarding.
Yeah.
When you're able to complete a puzzle successfully, you're just like, I'm the smartest person
the only
on
one.
planet Earth. I'm it. I'm the last hope for mankind.
Yeah, pretty much. I gotta protect
And then I call
you.
my mom up and she's like, oh yeah, I finished that one in 5 minutes. And I'm like, it took me 5 hours, Mom.
Can you just walk around the island?
I don't think
I would
so.
like to do.
I think you have to actually. There are over 650 puzzles.
Jeez.
Not all of them are mandatory. Some are optional.
My God.
And I think that once you actually, I read this, so I can't actually verify it, but I think that once you actually get into the mountain, it's kind of like challenge mode. So I'm like, oh, I guess that's where I'll stop.
Yeah.
I'll
Won't even try.
done.
I'll get into the
This is
mountain and
good.
just be
This is
promptly
good.
done. But the witness, just for being so, I mean, really,
I know.
it
I
comes
got a
down
lot
to
of
the visuals
perfect
for me.
scores.
For just the sheer, it's like a treat for the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Being
that's
able
right. It's
to
very
walk
beautiful
around
art.
this island in just this stunning scenery. I would play a whole game with no puzzles just like that. Just here you go.
Yeah.
Walk around on this island.
That's
Well, you know
Like,
what that
that's
is?
the
You know what game that
best.
is? No Man's Sky.
Oh, I was gonna say Pokemon Go.
Is No Man's Sky an indie game?
I believe Hello Games is technically an indie game.
What is an indie game?
That's a different. We're gonna need a lot more
I mean,
time
an indie game.
to
I think
discuss
the
that.
shortest version is the studio is
What's
not
the
funded
budget?
or in partnership with a specific major developer.
Yeah.
like because Sony has so many different offshoot studios: Santa Monica, Bend. Those two, off the top of my head.
Those are two more than I knew.
But so it has all these different offshoots, and I think as long as it's not one of those that's directly funded or partnered with a studio, a major developer like that, it's considered indie.
Okay.
Originally I think The Witness was meant to be on PS3,
Wait, what did you plan it on?
but it was PS4. Yeah,
And
but
it's
it
only
was
for PlayStation?
no. I think it's for more than that.
Okay.
I forgot to look it up. You'll just have to. Everybody's got Google. Figure it out yourselves.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. This is the first puzzle. If you can't do this on your own, you're not ready.
Yeah, right.
No, because we bought it on the PlayStation Store. Because
Okay.
we were like, how can? Because I remember my mom asking, "Oh, do I go to the store and buy that?" And we were like, "No, Mom, you don't go." To the store.
The virtual store, mother.
Come on, Mom. So yeah, so you can buy it on the PlayStation Network. I'm actually not sure if it's for Microsoft. I know that it's on Steam, so you can at least get it for PC.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if you can get it for Mac. But
Let's find out.
maybe.
I'll find out.
So for the first time ever, I actually reached my data max on my phone.
So you can't do
So
that.
I can't do it.
I think it's only for PC and PlayStation.
Okay, that makes sense.
Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, iOS. iOS.
Oh.
You play on your phone?
yeah.
Oh, there you go. You both have iOS.
I
Make
do
it work.
have iOS. Figure it out,
Figure it out.
dummy.
That's right. That's how I feel playing it. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm so stupid. Until I figure it out, and then I'm like, God, I'm smart. It's so good. I
trial
went to
and error.
college.
So I looked it up. Jonathan Winters is a comedian. He has passed away. I don't know why. I mean, he was he died late 87. Lived
You
a long,
killed him, Jerrett.
successful life.
By
But I
looking him
don't know
up.
why I thought I haven't even seen anything of his. I don't think so. I don't know why I got that confused with him. I don't know. But so I did find this Wikipedia article, so take it with a grain of salt. But it says the term indie development has been broadly applied to small development teams realizing the small and non-traditional non-AAA game titles on small budgets without financial help from a large publisher.
Okay.
Some notable instances of games that are generally considered indie but challenge that definition include Journey,
Number one.
but it was created by that game company, but had financial backing of Sony as well as publishing support. Bastion by Supergiant Games, another developer
Nice.
in games that I talked
We're
about
all
last.
AAA
Yeah.
indie game players.
Yeah, kind of. Was published by Warner Brothers primarily to avoid difficulties with the certification process on Xbox Live.
Warner Brothers.
The Witness.
Fat cats got their hands in everything.
The Witness, though self-funded and published, the game's development cost around $6 million and was priced at $40. In contrast to most indie games, typically priced up to $20. But
It's worth it.
a high-
It's worth it, people.
Blow believed this type of game represented something between indie and AAA publishing. But still, he's self-funded, self-published. That's pretty cool.
It
And then No
counts.
Man's Sky
It does.
is being developed by Hello Games, though with publishing but non-financial support from Sony.
All right.
There you
Cool.
go.
They're indie.
So there you go.
They went
Boom.
gold recently.
They did.
Oh,
the
yeah,
game
I
is
saw
that means
that.
it's officially about to come out.
Yeah.
August
I mean,
9th.
yeah, as long as something else doesn't happen, it will be here soon.
I don't think I can play it.
I'll be interested to see.
Oh, because I don't think it's actually going to be for Xbox.
Oh no, you can't because it's being published by Sony.
Oh no,
I can't play it.
sucks for you.
I don't know if it's worth getting a PlayStation for. I don't know.
Well, Mogan will probably
Time
buy
shall
it.
tell, won't it? I'll listen to the team chat review on my way to work. Maybe they'll let me know.
There you go.
So, Mogan, did you have a?
I have so many updates that I'll try to breeze through here because I have so much written down. Okay,
Pause
so
for the theme song. Okay, keep going.
Okay, we're good.
That song.
All right, so the biggest news I have, they officially announced the new Overwatch hero,
Yeah.
Ana Amari. It's been confirmed she is Farah's mother. So
I had that
for
right
starters,
from last week.
She's Farah's mother.
Catch that at all?
It was in the video.
Come on,
Was it the short film or just the?
No,
No, it was in the
it was in
podcast
the
episode
meat.
too when I
Come on,
said
buddy.
she was going to be the.
Well, that was a guess.
And it was pretty
was
much.
a
It was
guess.
pretty.
It was all but
pretty much
confirmed at the
Yeah.
time. So, Ana Amari, I have written down, support sniper Ana is the battle-hardened grandma we need but don't deserve. So that's how I feel about Ana. It's like, she's so amazing and I'm so happy. Name one, either of you. Here's your challenge.
Okay.
Name one other playable, older, female, badass character from any game. Old. Above 40 at minimum. Preferably above 50.
What about Siberia?
Kate Walker is a young woman.
But she's been
In her
there.
prime.
But that game has
She
been
is
like
a very
20
capable
years.
lawyer in her
Sequel now.
30s.
Okay.
Cliffhangers.
30s,
Each
so
game,
she's in her 30s.
Each
Yes.
game picks up immediately after the last one.
But
Right,
she also
seriously.
does not fight.
Okay.
Kate Walker does not
Okay,
fight.
so
She's
okay.
a thinker. So Anna, that's
Lara
the
Croft
challenge.
obviously doesn't count
Yeah,
because
No.
she's
I mean,
young.
there are other badass female characters, but how many can you name that are
old.
graying?
Right.
Yeah,
That are
that's
ve-
pretty awesome.
A defined female character.
It's tough
that
to
is
think
older.
of males too. But I can. No, that's not true. There's
Snake.
a lot of fighters too.
Solid Snake.
Snake, and there's a lot of fighting characters that.
And in
Yeah.
Overwatch, you obviously have
Tekken guy.
Reinhardt.
Yeah,
Reinhardt's like in his
Reinhardt's old as hell.
80s. He's like 76.
Oh, yeah.
He's old.
Soldier 76.
Soldier 76. Reaper
He's
technically.
76.
Reaper is technically as
Okay,
old as them.
that's
so
true.
it's like
Reaper's so old,
Anna.
he's dead.
So even though she actually will have a skin of her younger self, which I was like, boo.
Let me see some email
She,
shots.
yeah, she's amazing. So she
What do
is
you mean?
going to be.
Oh, you can. That's one of the skins you can have. Is her young.
One of her unlockable like
Well,
legendary
everybody
skins.
has. Well, not everybody, but most of the characters in Overwatch have a younger skin.
Yeah, they do. So it's going to be amazing. She is a support sniper, so her role is fascinating.
difficult.
She's going to be able to shoot her actual allies to heal them. And of course, she's actually going to be able to shoot others to do damage. And then her ult looks really cool where she can like shoot an ally as her ult. And they basically go like super berserk. Did you see the video?
Yeah,
see
yeah.
that.
That's
I was-
is that her alt? That's her alt.
Yeah, that's
when
her
she
ult.
gave it
It's
to
like, what,
Reinhardt.
Nano something? Nano blast? Nanotech?
Something like that.
I about lost my mind watching this video.
And the thing to
is
put
a
people to
great
sleep.
character.
Like when
Yeah,
she
what
put-
is the sleep one? What is that?
Put
Is
the
that-
Kree to sleep.
Oh no, wait, is that her ult?
See, that's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe
Oh,
that's her.
that-
She
alt.
does have some boost that she can give to players.
Yeah.
Which
And
is like Zenyatta. I mean, she's
Yeah.
the
Yes.
most similar character she's like is probably Zenyatta.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
like an offensive support.
Yeah.
So it's like this is the
powerful
dream,
is her
baby.
sniper,
We're
I
living
wonder?
the dream. So actually, her
It showed her taking him down
backstory-
in a couple shots.
know.
Yeah,
I
her
know.
backstory though is she's missing her one eye because Widowmaker shot her in the face.
wow.
And everyone thought she was dead, and she was like, "Oh, I'll just pretend I'm dead for a long, long time, and
she
then I'll
heard
come
the
back
call.
later and be like, bitch, you thought." That's what all of the memes are. They're like, bitch, you thought. But in other Overwatch news, good news for competitive players. I've been waiting for this. 1 hero per team
Yes.
limits.
No,
In
that's a
competitive
great
only.
idea.
In competitive
that's actually
only,
very
yes.
wise.
In competitive only, they are making a new patch, and part of this patch are a bunch of other updates. But the main thing for me is competitive mode, 1 hero per team.
That's
I
a
think
good
that's
idea.
amazing. They were like, yeah, we've noticed some people using some not very cool techniques, and I was like, if they mean bitch scumbags, that's about right.
I was playing a match the other day, and 4 people out of the 6 in competitive were Junkrat on attack.
Unacceptable.
I was furious.
Unacceptable. So
Furious.
Is that good or bad?
Even
No,
for your
Junkrat's a
own team,
defense
that's
guy.
going to be
Yeah,
good because
okay.
even for your own team, if you've got 2 Lucios, it's like, well, what's he doing? I picked Lucio first.
Yeah.
So
See,
I
I'm more.
get really-
I'd be more concerned about everyone being like my strategy, where everyone we all picked Reinhardt to get the the payload 100
Well,
feet.
now you're
Well,
gonna
now you
have
gotta,
to think
you
of
gotta have a
something
bit.
else.
Yeah, got to think of some different strategies.
scumbag.
For
So
that
some of the
competitive
other
one.
buffs are some of the other updates in this same patch. I think are McCree and Zenyatta are both getting buffed.
Yep.
So McCree, I think he's just getting a little bit of extra range.
I think so.
But Zenyatta's getting a big buff. He's getting a huge boost to his shields. He's getting faster projectile range, and his ult will last longer.
Nice.
So
That's the ult that should definitely
His
last
ult
longer.
does not last near
No,
long
it
enough.
And
was
is
so
he the
short.
only one that's invincible?
No, everyone
Anyone that's
around
in it?
him.
Yeah,
Yes.
everyone's
Okay.
who's like in a very close
But-
proximity.
Okay.
So his ult is getting boosted. Bro Mogan is going to be thrilled about that.
I love
He kind of
Zenyatta, so
mains
I'm
Zenyatta.
pretty
Good
happy
Zenyatta's are
about
great
that.
players.
And then so many updates for Diva, like so many.
Dude, Diva
They're changing
needs,
her.
They
Diva
are.
needs updates.
Basically.
She
So
needs
some of the
updates.
highlights are for all players, not just Diva, but self heals are now going to count for charging your ult. And then for Diva specifically, they're going to be altering her defense matrix mainly. So the defense matrix is going from a 10-second countdown to a 1-second cooldown.
What?
But,
Whoa.
So let me explain. So it's going to 1 second, but they're adding in a resource meter. So essentially the meter, kind of like how Farah's boosters work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So she'll
And-
be able to use her defense matrix. I think the maximum time, I wrote it down, at full charge, the defense matrix will last for 4 seconds. When you stop using it, it automatically starts recharging with a cooldown of 1 second.
Okay, so just like Farrah's boost.
Exactly. So you'll be able to use it, have a brief cooldown, recharge, use it again. So.
Okay.
And then what else are they doing?
Does
for
she
her?
get a damage boost?
She's not.
What?
I don't
She's
think
so
she's
weak.
getting. But self-destruct is not going to kill her anymore.
Yep.
Her
that's
ult
good.
self-destruct, and they are actually decreasing it
good.
from 4 second wait time to 3 seconds.
They need to do that.
So
They-
yeah,
Yeah, because
it's-
too much.
You can
It's too easy to get
from
away.
it. Yeah, it's too easy.
So
I wonder
it's
if they'll
going-
eventually do that with Tracer, because Tracer can be killed by her own bomb too. So I wonder if they'll do that with
Maybe.
Tracer. But she
But
also has that
Tracer's so
callback
fast.
thing.
Yeah. She should be
So
able to get out of
for
there.
Diva, it's going down to 3 seconds.
good.
It won't kill her anymore.
both
And then
good.
what else did I write down?
But Diva,
There
though,
was other
most of the
stuff.
time when I played a Diva, like you kill the mech pretty quick, but still sometimes the just Diva by herself
She's
can
actually
beat
so
them.
dangerous.
small.
She's
She's
dangerous.
so little.
She can
Yeah.
jump
You can't
around,
hit her.
and her gun is actually pretty powerful.
Yeah.
That's true. Maybe she doesn't need to.
And then I
attack.
just had very briefly, I was cracking up Pokemon Go. They are actually technically having bans on cheaters. So the only way you
Good.
can cheat is GPS spoofing, where you trick your phone into thinking you're somewhere else, which for rural players, I can see why they would.
I mean, I have a hard time catching
Yeah.
them just in my neighborhood.
Yeah, so that sucks for rural or suburban players, but they're basically banning those people with hilarious, very sad punishments where you'll still be able to play, but all of your wild Pokemon are going to run away from you. So none of them are going to be catchable. The gyms won't let you battle them, and Pokestops won't give you any stuff.
Damn.
But it's
Damn,
only
shut
about
down.
an hour. It's only about an hour. So they're
Yeah.
like, we know you're cheating. You can't play for an
It's
hour.
a warning. It's like a warning.
It's like a warning.
Yeah,
So it's like,
listen.
I was cracking up about
awesome.
that.
That's pretty good.
And then we just mentioned No Man's Sky. I can't believe it's so soon already. I feel like we were just complaining that it was delayed August
Yeah.
9th. And then more recently, or more soon, or Banner Saga 2, July 26th. And all this one's going to be for all systems except Wii U. What a surprise. And it's a cool strategy RPG with gorgeous 2D styling based on, as far as I can tell, Vikings.
Nice. And Austin Wintory does the music.
Oh, does he really?
Soundtrack's already out.
Soundtrack.
I listened to it the other day. It was pretty good.
You don't even care. Why are you doing that?
I'm all for OSTs.
You don't know.
Talking about Marty?
All right,
I
that
did,
was the whole
buy, I
thing.
did buy the Metal Gear Solid 5 soundtrack.
I thought you were going to say 5.
No, sorry.
Buy the game.
No, I've got too many
The
other big
soundtrack's
games I
great.
got to knock out.
Soundtrack's great.
But I'll get to it. I have
They
loved the
ported
soundtrack
that to
so
Wii
far.
U yet? Do we know if it's coming?
I don't think they're going to do
soon?
that.
You little
I don't
bunny,
think they're
you'd
going
have
to do
to kill
that.
bunnies instead of people.
So, getting back to the topic quickly, while we'll wrap it up, because I don't really know where else to go other than just naming more games that we think are a lot of fun. One of the biggest ones that I will say, just very briefly, that like had a huge explosion and got super popular, Rocket League.
Ooh,
yeah.
I forget that's an indie game. It
It's
was so
true.
popular.
That
I
became-
It was
forget
that's
so
about
the
big,
Mi-
it
it's
became-
like Minecraft, you know? It's
Yeah, and
not
like took
even
over.
considered an
Everyone's
indie.
like, "Whoa, this is indie!" But
Yeah.
man, there was a definite few weeks that's all I did.
I never
I
played
feel
it.
like even the idea of Rocket League, when you think about it further, you're like, of course it's an indie game. What mainstream studio would
A
do
soccer
that?
game used with rocket cars.
It's like you're using
You're
rocket
fired.
cars to play sports.
Yeah, someone
Yeah.
proposed that at Microsoft.
Crazy idea.
but it's a fun ass game. So if you
It
haven't
looks
played that
fun.
one yet,
I have a lot of friends that play it.
I feel
But I
like
never
that's
played
the
it.
kind
It's
of
cross-
game.
I don't know.
Is it cross-platform? There's that big thing where they were saying like they want to make it cross-platform.
It is actually on Steam.
Yeah, it's
So
on
you
Steam.
can get it on
I think you can
Steam.
play. I think it's cross-platform for PC and Xbox,
I think
not
so.
Xbox to PlayStation yet.
Yeah. Okay.
But you should check that out sometime. If it goes on sale, it's a fun.
I know it's
a
fun.
one.
I know it's probably worth it. I just played Payday 2.
As much as you love
I think that's an
cars.
indie game.
Yeah, you
I
like
bought
cars.
that. I do love cars and I
Racing
like,
games.
Yeah.
It's kind of that.
I feel like that's the kind of game someone thought up when them and their friends were playing with Matchbox cars.
Yeah.
Like in their room, and they were like, this could be an extreme sport.
Well, that game existed. 75% sure in another racing game.
Which game?
It's a pretty big
like-
margin
That's a
for
big
error.
statement
It
to,
is.
to,
Big
to throw
statement.
out there
But
if
I'm
you can't even
pretty
tell
sure
us the game.
there was some arcade game that was with cars, and you could like have a tennis ball and just hit it around. It wasn't a sport like it is in racquetball, but I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure.
Racquetball.
Yeah,
Get it together, man.
I don't know. I'm just have weird memories of like playing something like it.
Yeah.
If you can find that game, let
Like I
us
know
know.
Halo. You could do it in Halo. Halo 3, I think. You could have people in warthogs, and then in Forge mode, you could drop a soccer ball, and you just hold
Oh,
kick.
really?
Yeah.
So maybe they got the idea from that.
Well, the Rocket League's, I think, is original idea. I'm not saying like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
stole it. I'm
yeah.
just saying.
Like the mechanics of it, and then it takes place in like these
Right.
arenas, and you could drive all up on the roof
Yeah,
and all this
that's
other
totally
stuff,
crazy
launch
cool.
to the air.
What a
It's
fun,
very
crazy
well
game.
It's a
fleshed out
lot of
game.
fun game. It's a really, really fun game. But no, so yeah, I think we are definitely starting to see, if we're maybe not to the golden age of indie games yet, I think we're getting very close. And I think that we're going to keep seeing these indie developers as they keep rolling out. Like that's when I was at RTX, that's all what a lot of it was.
Yeah.
Like a great, like a fighting game that I play that's similar to Smash Brothers in style. Brawlhalla, is great.
Oh, yeah, I
and
remember you mentioned that. Yep.
That one's coming out soon, or is still in beta. You might be able to get a beta on Steam still. And just they're getting better. They're being able now through various avenues to be able to push themselves more and get their games out there.
Mm-hmm.
And as sure as bigger games like No Man's Sky and stuff like that come out, like there's going to be a big influx of people wanting to maybe throw some cash.
And I mean,
at these
people are
crazy
looking
ideas.
at
Oh,
them
totally.
now. People
Totally.
are looking at indie games and going, this is the kind of
Yeah.
gamer that's looking for a different experience than what they're used to.
I've said this before, but I'm definitely starting to look to those more and try to play more and to
I should be.
get into that world a little bit more because I love the
spend
AAAs.
so much time
but
looking
like
for obscure
I need,
game news.
I need to play the full gambit
Right.
of all that is available.
I'm going to go on ahead and say we're in the golden age right now. I'm calling
I
it.
ain't
We're in it.
arguing. I
We're
won't
living
argue.
it.
I wouldn't necessarily argue.
Living the
There's so many
dream,
great
baby.
indie games.
Yeah, it's gonna get better and better as the years go on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been an episode of Team Chat Podcast. Until next time, I'm one of your hosts. Oh yeah, and don't forget, send us those questions and comments. We love them.
I want some new ones. Damn it.
Zach's tired
Sorry for
of our Zach is tired of our old listener
Darn it.
base.
I want some new questions.
He wants-
I just want more questions. They can be from the same listeners. I just want some new questions.
We don't even care if they're stupid questions.
No, ask us about our lives.
Yeah, we should have an episode
Please
where we
don't
just
ask
talk about
about our
we just talk about our lives.
Sad episode.
just talk about
that
about
was depressing.
ourselves.
That was a really
Everyone
bummer
leaves.
episode.
It's like God, these guys suck.
You guys are boring.
But you can send us those questions and comments to teamchatpodcast@gmail.com and find us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Subscribe there. We need more subscribers so you can keep
do.
watching these cool
Hey,
videos.
someone commented on one of our YouTube videos.
Which one?
I don't know.
Oh, I did see
Why
that.
did the Xbox versus PS4 get so much views? That's up.
I think because
that's
it's Xbox
80 views.
Is
I
it
think it's
really?
because
Compared to like
it's
our
Xbox.
4, that is like the second.
I think it's because it's Xbox versus PS4, and people are
Yeah.
like, "What's this?"
I know they
Yeah,
must be typing
one
it
guy,
in. And like that must
one guy
come
did
up on, like, the
did
8th page.
he did comment, and he was just like, "You guys are great. How do you not have more
know.
subscribers?" And I was
said,
like,
"Thank you,
Oh my
sir."
god!
And I was like,
boost that guy.
I was
Yeah.
like, please, like we're new. Please, we're still trying to grow. Please share us with your friends. So
Seriously.
please share us. We beg. Please.
31.
wanna
We're
quit.
31 years old.
I know.
Oh my god,
We're
we
babies
are.
in
We are.
podcast world.
We are
That's
babies
true.
in podcast
There are
world.
The
people
ones
that are
that I
like
listen
at
to are like
500.
Yeah, they
But you
are.
cannot
Like
deny
that.
our commitment that we have made it this far, and we will continue
true.
week after week. So come back next week. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, I am one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined to my right by Rachel Mogan,
Au revoir.
and to my left, Zachary Parks.
Peace.
We'll see you all next time.